which is from 26th to 28th June 2025. This webinar series has played a crucial role in setting the stage, bringing together voices from across the globe to reflect on the pressing challenges and evolving narratives in architecture, urbanism, and design. Each webinar has opened up important conversations. Today's session titled Impact of Multidisciplinarity in Architecture Through Immersive Technologies by Dr. Sumitra TV from RAIT. It offers us a deeper understanding of how collaboration across disciplines, combined with cutting-edge immersive tools, is transforming the architectural landscape, not only in practice, but also in how we teach, learn, and environments. These discussions are helping us to collectively frame the broad while also inspiring new directions in research for decision. Before we I'd like to take a moment as our heartfelt gratitude to all those who have joined form that made Transformations 2025 a reality. A special thanks to Professor Jayashree Deshpande, director of this event, for her unwavering support and guidance throughout. And our sincere appreciation to Professor Aparna Surve, co-convener and dean of D.Y. Patil School of Architecture, Navi Mumbai, for her dedication and active role in shaping this initiative. Now, I am pleased to invite Professor Aparna Surve to address us and formally open today's session. Professor Aparna.
Thank you, Professor Mary, for a very meticulous and articulated introduction of the conference and how webinar series have emerged and evolved. And I'm moving towards shaping the discourse for this conference. And I'm very happy that we have moved to its 9th edition. And Professor Sumitra from Ramravadi Institute of Technology, which is our flagship university institute, which is a constituent of D.Y. Patil Limtobi University, Navi Mumbai. RAIT has been our knowledge partner, and they have very graciously supported this multidisciplinary understanding about how disruptive technologies are becoming so central to all the disciplines, including architecture, design, and urbanism. So I look forward to very exciting collaborations with our very own REIT through this conference. And I welcome her. Of course, her introduction will be given by Professor Mary again. But before I proceed, or let the proceedings of this webinar go ahead. I really, my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Professor Abhay Purohit ji, President, Conference and a co-patron of the conference, and President of Council of Architecture, to stay anchored around this theme and kept us guiding us and motivating through all its stages, from inception to calling eminent speakers to inviting AICTE, UGC, Ministry of Education to partner and support this conference. And gradually, over last 8 to 9 months, the platform has really grown into a truly multidisciplinary platform.
We are very sorry, we got disconnected.
Okay, I think since there is already a loss of time and most of the details have been shared, I request Professor Mary to take this webinar ahead.
Sure.
Mary, can you take it ahead?
Yes, ma'am. Give me a second.
Okay, there is some. Okay.
So give us 2 seconds because most of our computers got disconnected.
Okay. So while you are connecting, I will complete couple of things that. So it's a research conference. So on the days of conference, we'll definitely going to have research papers read by eminent scholars across India. The recordings and publication of webinar series along with abstracts will become a part of conference kit, and we are also working on exhibition where industry partners will be putting up various displays about their technologically advanced uh, tools and techniques, and lectures from keynote speakers internationally. We'll be shortly opening up and kind of unveiling the poster of keynote speakers. Um, to name a few, we have eminent speakers from BIG Architects, we have eminent speakers from Norman Foster Institutes, Zaha Hadid Architects, and so on and so forth. We'll be unveiling and sending out those keynote speakers details. Along with that, we'll have at least 8 plenary speakers, scholars and practicing architects, and multidisciplinary scholars and experts talking through throughout the conference. And we'll have panel discussions and town hall discussions to conclude the entire almost 1 year's efforts, followed by conference proceedings publication. If you're ready, then we can probably go to these dates and Professor Mary will explain you the dates. Thank you and welcome all of you. Welcome on the webinar and also to the conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So as you all know, so COA will be providing certificates to the participants. So I request all the participants to mark your attendance in the chat box. Yeah, I would like to mention about the academic poster competition, which was mentioned in last webinar. So we have this academic poster competition. So please register your posters and participate in the competition. So now I am pleased to invite Professor Myresh Gore, Professor of Urban Design at Levi Patil School of Architecture, to give a brief introduction about the webinar.
Thank you. It's good. Hello, hi Mary. Am I audible and can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Yeah. So hello and good morning, good evening to all. This is Professor Mayuresh Gore. And I'll just give a brief introduction to the idea of what is happening in the webinar today. So basically, we have been looking at interdisciplinary practices, and we have looked at different kinds of technological practices. And in these technological practices, we have fields like AI, GIS, robotics, and AR, VR as our primary components. We have RAIT, Ramarao Adik Institute of Technology as our flagships, and we have been collaborating with the institution and understanding the technology in depth. The faculties have been really helpful to kind of gauge with this technology. So architecture as a practice in India is looking at these technologies, and is the practice itself is immersifying itself to use these technologies. So we have been kind of making a bouquet of AI, GIS, robotics, and AR, VR, where AI looks at prompting and machine learning in architecture. GIS looks at methods of mapping, and we have been practicing that in details. Then we are also looking at robotics and robotic arms, and our facility itself has it. RAIT has advanced technology, and today's webinar talks about the augmented reality and visual reality, virtual reality, where architecture has been now captivated by virtual reality, and how does this technology really immersifies us as practitioners is one of our key components today. So I welcome Professor Sumitra Devi, and we would like to go ahead and see what she has to, you know, guide us through this entire webinar session. Thank you so much. Mary, thank you, and please take over.
Yes. So thank you, Myresh. So now, with great respect and thank you, Myresh. I am right into the first speaker of this session, Dr. Sumitra, Assistant Professor at Ram Rao Adik University Institute of Technology, RAIT, D.Y. Patil deemed to be University, Navi Mumbai. She has BE in Computer Science and Engineering, MTech in Computer Science and Engineering, and PhD in Computer Engineering. Dr. Sumitra is a dedicated designer, researcher, assistant professor, and author in the field of computer science and engineering. With extensive experience as an academic project coordinator and mentor for IT startups, she has collaborated with various IT firms in multiple capacities, contributing to research and innovation. She has published numerous patents and research papers in esteemed journals and conferences in collaboration with industry. With over 15 years of expertise in curriculum design, development, and training, Dr. Sumitra specializes in guiding students with expertise in conducting usability studies, immersive technology, UX design with AI, usability engineering with AI, user-centric models, design principles, and prototyping tools. Dr. Sumitra has over 15 years of experience in teaching at various universities across India. She's passionate in teaching courses like artificial intelligence, human-computer interaction, soft computing, UI UX design, design thinking, and immersive technology. So I welcome Dr. Sumitra to start your session.
Thank you, Professor Mary, for the introduction. I would like to share my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen now.
Run it. Right? Okay. Yeah, hope my screen is visible and I'm audible to all the participants.
Yes, your screen is visible and you're audible.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. So let us look at the immersive technologies today. The flow of the presentation would be like, I have divided the presentation into two sections. One is the immersive technologies. I'll be talking about various immersive technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and extended reality, followed by metaverse in one section, and the design essentials of immersive technology in the second section. So we interact with applications in our everyday life, right? So we have our mobile phones, smartphones, and we have a number of applications. We do interact with these applications, but these applications, the mobile applications, they do not provide the immersive experience. Whereas when we look at these immersive technologies, when we develop the applications using this immersive technologies, there is the users get a very immersive experience when compared to the traditional applications. So there are two compared to traditional applications, the immersive applications will give better user experiences. So that is the reason we have to look at the immersive technologies at today's time. So having said that, let's explore the immersive technologies one by one. So we'll start with the virtual reality. So what is virtual reality? So we have experienced virtual reality applications. Probably when we go to the gaming zone in the malls or any of the entertainment zones, like even in the college fest, I think students would have experienced this. So virtual reality is entirely a different environment. That is a simulated environment. And what it'll do is it'll cut off the user's access to the real world, and it'll take you to a different world. When I say a different world, it is nothing but the virtual environment, a different virtual environment. So how is it going to take us to a different environment? Suppose I'm sitting in my staff room now, but I can experience the environment of, let's say, a nature or a forest. So how does this happen? It is with the help of some specialized devices. We need certain specialized devices to have such kind of experience, immersive experiences. So when I use the mobile application, it becomes a traditional application. So if I see the mobile application, it is not so immersive for me. But when I use these specialized devices, as you can see here in the a picture, so the user is wearing the virtual reality device, and then through that device, he is able to visualize completely a different environment, right? So the VR will immerse the users in this three-dimensional and interactive environment. So ultimately, the goal of this virtual reality is to give the users the sensation of being physically present in a digital world. So now what is required? So there is one example, a picture which is put over here. So this is the illustration of a person wearing a VR headset, and he's surrounded by this simulated environment. Okay, so probably maybe on the 10th floor of the building, which is empty, he wants to visualize and see how the future building building design and the interior design would look like. So entirely he's actually standing on the rooftop and then trying to visualize how the 10th floor office building would look like using the VR device. So such kind of applications are possible. So that is, it is taking the VR application is taking him to a different world which doesn't exist. That is nothing but the virtual environment, which is not present in real, but he's able to go in the future and then have a look at the design of the buildings and the interiors. So this is something like, Previously, we used to watch some movies, fiction movies, and then say, okay, we enter into the future machine and then see how the future is going to be and then come back. So, similarly, that is now possible with the help of these immersive technologies, even though the building doesn't exist. And after 2 years, this building is going to be built. So, you can go and you can live your life there in the virtual environment and you can come back. Yeah. So now what is it that is required for us to uh, to build such kind of immersive applications? So there are two things which we require. One is the software part and the other one is the hardware part. When I say software, the most popular softwares which are used in the industry are Unity and Unreal. So these softwares are used to build the applications. Using these softwares, we build the applications, the virtual environment which is required, the designs and everything will be done using the 3D modeling software. And then we will, once the application is developed, we will deploy it on the hardware. That is, we need some specialized devices to visualize these applications, right? So we call them as the VR headsets. So there are various VR headsets which are available in the market, like Oculus Quest, HTC Hive, PlayStation VR, and there are many more. And along with the headset, we also need some motion controllers, like we need mouse and the keyboard to interact with the computer. Similarly, to interact with these headsets, we need some controllers. And also, there are some haptic devices which are available as controllers that will control and also provide the feedback, which will enhance the user experience further. So what do I mean to say here is, suppose the user is going around and in the virtual environment, he comes across a fire or some heat body, and he's trying to touch something or going very close to that. So you can generate some kind of heat using these haptic devices, or if there is an obstacle and he's trying to touch something, or um, uh, uh, if you want to give some kind of vibration feeling to the users, then you can make use of these haptic devices. We call them as haptic gloves, which they can use it and get such kind of immersive feeling. Yeah, in order to do all this, we need some kind of sensors to take the input from the virtual environment and also the users, and then track the users' movement. And then based on the inputs received by the sensors, specific actions will be taken by the haptic devices. Right. So coming to the applications of virtual reality, there are good number of applications in the market today. So gaming and entertainment is something which we have already experienced. I think most of us have already experienced this. And it takes the player inside the immersive world, and they can interact in that environment as if they are interacting in the real time. So next application is in education and training. We can use virtual reality to train the engineers, the surgeons, and the pilots, because realistic training is very expensive and also it is very risky. So probably the air flight simulation and other things, these applications are already available, and it reduces the cost and also the risk which is involved in training the students. Yes, and we are in healthcare. Some kind of therapies also we can use VR to treat the conditions and some of the phobias. If the patients are scared of something and you want to train them, then you can take them into the virtual reality and then help them come out of the fears. And then in the real estate and architecture field also, you can take your clients or the customers, they can have a walkthrough inside the building, and also give them a very immersive experience of how the interiors would look like, even much before you start with the construction. Okay, no doubt the blueprints and the sketches and the design diagrams will be given to the users, but that is very difficult for the client or somebody who is not in the architecture field. For them, it is very difficult to understand the whole blueprint. So if something like this is shown, a virtual environment is shown, or you tell them this is exactly how it looks, so it is easy for them to understand. So real estate and architecture fields, professionals are also making use of virtual reality. So coming to the advantages of virtual reality, it gives immersive and engaging experience. Yes, because in virtual reality, I told you that the complete access to the real world is cut off, and we enter into a different virtual environment. And we can interact with those digital objects inside in the virtual environment um, in a very, interactive way. It also enhances their learning skills and expands the possibility in storytelling and creativity. Yes, there is a scope for you to show your creative skills in building these virtual environments. Next. All right. Coming along with the benefits and advantages, we also have certain challenges in virtual reality. Challenges in terms of the cost. The hardware and the software which is required is a bit expensive, and uh, not everybody can afford it right now, at least in India. And then physical discomfort. Initially, when the virtual reality devices or the headsets came in the market, it was very bulky, heavy. And then over a period of time, from last 10 years, there is a lot of research happening. And then now, finally, they have come up with a very light headset. There is physical comfort, but again it depends from users to users. Some feel still they feel discomfort because uh, you know it can be because of the virtual environment. You are traveling in the virtual environment and the kind of application there. So some people have motion sickness as well. So it could be the discomfort in wearing the headset and also the motion sickness. There could be some kind of physical discomfort as one of the challenge. And the most important point is the ethical concerns. So when smartphones were introduced, we know that everybody or the young generation is now addicted to mobile phones. So similarly, there is also a fear that people will get addicted to these immersive technologies. Yes. Why is it not moving? Okay. So along with these challenges, there are benefits also which we can look at, especially in the architecture industry. Okay, so there is immersive design. We can have walkthroughs of building and spaces to experience designs in 3D environment even much before the construction of this building. Just give me a second. This toolbar has opened up. I'll just try to close it. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah. And the clients can also understand the scale, proportions, and spatial relationship uh, when compared to the 2D drawings or the models or the blueprint. So if you're talking to a client and if you want to show them how their future home would look like, and what would be the lighting condition inside their home, or Awesome. Oh, yeah. The room layouts and the lighting conditions at different times, then it is possible for you to demonstrate all these using the virtual reality applications. So this will be more immersive for the user and better to understand from the user's perspective. And also, another benefit is that design iteration and refinement. That is, instead of actually building the uh, this one, and then after you construct, you cannot change or modify, right? So it takes a lot of time and cost is involved in modifying the constructions or making kind of renovations. I know that you have blueprints, designs, and all, but again, even after that, after the client has agreed for the design and then you build something, when you actually build, then there could be a possibility wherein they feel that this is not what they wanted and they want to change some things, right? So again, then there will be a rework which will be involved and would take a lot of time, and also a lot of cost is also associated with the rework. So what you can do is, using virtual reality environment, you can actually show them, and any refinements they want to make, they can make it at the even much before the construction begins. So the architects, you can explore how different materials, the textures, the colors look in various lighting conditions using all these VR applications. And when you do this, it will enhance the client communication. So there is no communication gap between the architects and the clients. So, and it is better for the client who is not a technical person to understand the actual design of the building. And of course, when we do this, when we discuss the plans with the help of virtual reality applications, there is improved collaboration between the civil engineers, the architects, the designers, um, and also if there is any conflict or anything, it will help them to solve beforehand. Next is streamlined marketing and sales. Yes, this is at the from the real estate perspective. Using VR applications, the builders or the developers can showcase the property to their clients. Probably a client who is in US wants to invest in India, or a client who is in Dubai wants to invest in the Indian projects, and he wants to visualize and see how the property looks like. So what he can do is he can share this VR application, and the person sitting in Dubai or US visualize can visualize the property, and then they can decide whether to purchase the property or not. And suppose if he's in a confusion whether what would be the view on the fifth floor, from the fifth floor, from the 10th floor, or 15th or 20th floor, so we can give them a virtual visualization of how the view would look, and from different floors, and based on that they can decide which floor they want to book their property. And also there is no need to invest in the model house. So right now every apartments, you can see there's a model home or model villa, and the users have to go to the physical location and then have a look at the model villa, and then they decide to purchase or not. So that physical footprint is not required virtually. They can get an access to the environment. They can have a look at the property and then decide if they want to buy a property or not. So this is from the marketing and sales perspective. Also for training architect students in education field also, VR is very helpful. Suppose you talk about some safety protocols, you want to teach them some new technology, and before they actually execute it on the on site or in the actual physical location, then they can use this virtual reality application, they can try it out in the practicals, and then they can implement it. And also architecture students can use this VR to explore the iconic buildings and study their design principles in a very interactive way. Right, so we have seen some of the applications or in the architecture industry. Along with that, so just to sum up, we have certain key benefits of this virtual reality when it comes to immersive applications. So cost efficient, as discussed, it reduces the cost because costly design errors can be easily identified at the first place, even much before the building is constructed. And because of this, there is a lot of time which is saved, and there is better client experience. So even the client is happy and the architects are also happy because there's no rework, and the client gets to visualize everything much better than the blueprint or the designs, the 2D designs. Okay, so there is this beautiful application of virtual reality, Google Earth VR. We all use Google Map, right? So Google Map is something we have used, but Google Earth VR, this is the next step to see the world. So you can actually, in the Google Map, you can see only the city, the maps, and only the names, right? So that is also just like a blueprint. But when you use Google Earth VR, okay, let me not tell you, but I'll just play this video. I want you to visualize this and see what Google Earth VR looks like. Mary ma'am, I'll be just clicking on this YouTube video. Please confirm if the video and the audio is visible.
Sure.
Ma'am, is it visible?
Not yet.
I think I'll have to say new share in that case. Yeah. Is it visible, ma'am, now?
Yes.
Google Earth VR? Yeah. I'll play this video. And what about the audio? Please confirm the audio also.
Audio, we are not able to listen. No.
Audio, okay. Okay, just have a look at this virtual VR. So wearing the VR glass, she has entered inside the virtual environment. It's just like a Google map, complete Earth. Yeah. So we saw that See, we have used the Google Map. We just go to different countries, and then just like we move around on the 2D maps, it is possible for us to wear the VR headset, Google Earth VR. Wearing a virtual reality headset, she was able to move around and actually visualize or see how the world is, and in different parts of the country she was able to travel, right? So something similar to this is one existing application, Google Earth VR. You can fly over a city with Google Earth VR, stand at the edge of a mountain, even soar into space. Okay. So probably if we can have some hands-on sessions, then you will be able to experience this using the virtual reality devices. Right. So that was about virtual reality. Now, another immersive technology is augmented reality. So we just spoke about VR. Now we are moving ahead, and we'll discuss about augmented reality or AR. So augmented reality is also very similar to virtual reality, but only difference is that in virtual reality, the complete access to the real world environment is cut off. So the users will be able to see only the virtual environment, but not the real environment uh, which they are at that particular moment. Okay. Whereas in augmented reality, the users will have access to both, that is, the real world and also the digital world. That is, they can digital 3D objects will be augmented in front of the users, and also the users can see the real environment. That is nothing but if I'm in a classroom and I'm able to see the students, I'll be able to see the students also, and a digital um, image which will be augmented in front of me. I will be able to view that image and also interact with that image. So digital information will be uh, projected on the user's screen in augmented reality, and users will have access to both the real world as well as the digital objects or the 3D models. I'll show you one example for that also. Probably after we discuss this augmented reality, we'll get to see the demo of AR as well. So this is the illustration of a person using the AR glasses. Now again, we need certain specialized devices to experience any kind of immersive application. For VR applications, we need VR devices. For AR applications, we need AR devices. So with these devices, we will be able to visualize the AR or the VR applications. So if you can look at this picture here, she is wearing AR glasses, and then she is also able to access the lab environment, and also a digital 3D image of an heart is projected in front of her. So she's able to interact with that, and she's able, when I say interact, she's able to rotate it, she's able to do the translation operation, and she's able to interact and study the different parts of the heart. So now in order to do this also, we need both hardware and software. Like I mentioned for VR, similarly for AR also we need hardware and software. Some specialized devices, the AR devices are required. Uh, Smartphones, tablets, AR glasses, Microsoft HoloLens, or Indian make, there is one device called Ajna XR. So they are all the wearable headsets. Using these devices, the users can experience the AR applications. Coming to the software, depending upon which operating system the developer is using, they need certain development tools like if they're using Android, then they will need AR Core, and if they're using Apple, they'll need AR Kit, and Vuforia is required. So these are the software requirements to build the AR applications. So along with this, artificial intelligence can also be added, and it will enhance the ability of augmented reality application. Suppose if Google Glasses is one good example. So it will detect the objects. So that is nothing but computer vision, which is an application of artificial intelligence. So something is there. So this is a ball, there is a ball, there is a tree. So turn right after this tree or something like that. Yeah. So key components, hardware and software, and applications of augmented reality. Again, augmented reality can be used in almost all the domains, starting from retail and e-commerce. I think IKEA application, architect students must have used. If you want to see how the furniture looks inside your room, then IKEA has an application. If you download their application, you can select different furniture, different colors, and then different location in your room, and see how actually it looks even much before you purchase those furnitures. Okay, so that is augmented reality. You have access to your room, and in front of your room, the furniture or whatever, the chair, the table, that is getting augmented in front of you. So it's like in the empty space, a 3D object gets augmented, and you get to visualize and see how well it fits inside your room. Next is in healthcare for medical simulations. They make use of AR applications. Like I told you, example of heart, and or maybe the patient is lying down, and you, before you perform an operation, you want to see some steps or perform some procedures, then you can do it with the 3D images coming up. You just perform or go through something, and then you perform the actual operations. And then education and training. Uh, Spray painting and automobile assembling is good example. So automobile assembling, if you want to teach 100 students, you cannot give the components to all the 100 students in the workshop. So what you can do is you can give them the AR devices. They are standing in the workshop. They have the access to their workshop, and also the digital objects, the parts, the different mechanical parts get augmented in front of them in the workshop, and they interact with these 3D objects, and they learn how to assemble the automobile or any other this one. Next is spray painting. Spray painting also. All 100 students, I cannot give them the training of painting, because I'll have to have so much of paint and so much of resources, and then learning takes time. So it's not just by one practice they do it. They need 20, 25, 30, or maybe even more number of times they need to practice. So what I can do is they have access to the wall or the object what they want to paint, the rest of the paint and other things I can develop an application, give it to them, and then ask them to get the training through AR applications. Coming to architecture and real estate, yes. For example, let's say that there are two plots left and right side, and in between there is an empty plot, and you are trying to design some kind of elevation for that plot. So now you want to make sure that whatever design you are doing should look better in front of the buildings which are on the left and the right, should not overshadow your building or something like that. So first you want to ensure how it looks when it is actually augmented or after it is constructed. So even much before you construct, what you can do is you can augment it using AR application. That is, you have access to the empty plot, And on that empty plot, you want to uh, bring the 3D image, you augment that 3D image of the building, and then you check how it looks when actually it is constructed, and is it better than the existing ones. And yeah, something like that. You can have your own you can verify much before you finalize your design, the elevation designs. Okay. And gaming and entertainment, one of the best example for AR application is the Pokemon Go. I think many students would have used this Pokemon Go. Yeah. So coming to the advantages again, it will enhance the user engagement because we are combining the digital and the physical world, and then it reduces the cost in the industry, and like training, design, and marketing, as I mentioned, the examples. But the challenges is that again, high development cost and technical complexity, and you have to depend upon the hardware capabilities. And without hardware, you cannot visualize such kind of applications. Yes, so these are the challenges. Now, I would like to play this video, which will demonstrate an AR application. Mary ma'am, I want you to confirm if this is being visible. Share.
Not yet. Yeah. Now we can see the screen.
Okay. So this is one, Unity is one of the popular platform where we can build the AR VR applications. So this is an AR phonic application which was built by one of our student group. Right from alphabets A, B, C, D, they have created 3D models of the animals. Now for T tiger, if we have opened this in the classroom, so this is what we are in. We are in the classroom. We are able to see the classroom, and then the AR plane will detect, and then the 3D object. This tiger is nothing but a 3D object which will be augmented in front of the users. So now we have access to the real world, which is the classroom environment, and also the 3D object which is getting augmented. So this is the example of an AR application. So the tiger is also making yeah. So I think you won't be able to hear the audio.
No, we are not able to.
Yeah, yeah. Just a minute. What is it? Okay. New share. I think with that example, it was clear what actually is augmented reality. Uh, Ma'am, can you please let me know which screen is visible now?
Now hacking Google.
Okay.
Now we can see the PPT.
PPT. Okay. Ma'am, is the PPT visible now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Right. So these are some applications which are possible today, and what is going to be the future of augmented reality if we think about where these immersive technologies will take us? Then, if you have read the newspaper last week, the founder of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, I think he has made a statement that the smartphones will not exist in next 10 years and everybody will switch to these AR glasses. So something there will be no smartphones, but we'll have smart glasses. And Apple, Google, and Meta, they have already started working on this, and a lot of research is happening on AR smart glasses. Right. So with this, they can also, like in virtual reality, we can have a VR meeting now. Zoom meeting is also a virtual meeting room. Similarly, we can also have AR meeting rooms. We can create the meeting rooms, and then the experts from different location across the globe can join the meeting room. They can interact with the digital objects, and they can take decisions or decide upon the designs. And there are a lot of things which are possible with the telepresence and collaboration. So this is something which will happen very soon. And then what is mixed reality? Always along with AR, VR, there is something called MR. MR is also uh, visible along with AR and VR when we read the newspapers or articles. So MR is nothing but mixed reality. That is, the application developed will not just be virtual, will be working in virtual reality or augmented reality, but it will work both in virtual reality and augmented reality. We can say that it is a hybrid of both the immersive technologies. So, but to have this mixed reality application, there are certain key features which we have to look at. That is the spatial mapping. The physical layout of the environment has to be understood before we design, and the object recognition, because the digital objects will be interacting with the physical objects. So we need to have object recognition, hand tracking. There should be some kind of to interact with the objects. We should have some like controllers, mouse. We using hand, we should be able to move through the different windows, the menu, or select any icons. And then the real-time feedback. That is, if I'm opening or closing something, the application is closed, or some feedback has to be given to the user. So just to let the user know what is happening in the application. Yes, this is more of technical detail, so I will not explain more about the key features. But coming to the applications of mixed reality, again, just like AR and VR, most of the application domains, we can see mixed reality applications can be used. So what is the future of mixed reality? So before I go to mixed reality, along with AR, VR, MR, we also get to see something called as XR. XR. Okay, so what is this XR? XR is nothing but extended reality. So when I say extended reality, suppose if I enter into a coffee shop, in virtual reality, I'm entering into a coffee shop. So just by entering into the coffee shop, just by seeing the coffee shop, I will not get that kind of immersive feeling. So what they thought is they will give us a smell of that coffee there when I enter into the coffee shop in the virtual world. So it can be the smell, or maybe it can be the suppose if it is raining or drizzling, you want to give some kind of watery effects and all, then all that can be set up in the studio, where the user is experiencing such kind of immersive applications. So anything which comes up like this, people are creative and they keep doing a lot of things to give better and better immersive experience. So what they thought was, instead of having a name after VR and AR and mixed reality MR, let us not have any terminology. So anything which comes after this will be referred to as extended reality. So that is what it means. And now, what is the future of all these AR, VR, and MR? Again, with the help of all these immersive technologies, there's another technology which is coming into picture, that is metaverse. So metaverse, let's see what is metaverse. To describe metaverse in a short, just in one line, I can tell you that metaverse is not just going into the virtual environment, but you will be living your life in that virtual environment. Okay. So not just experiencing the virtual environment and coming out, you will be living your life in that virtual environment. So what does it mean to say that you can set up your concerts, you can, invite people to your parties, and you can have a kind of transaction, the digital transaction, you can buy and sell few things. So that is whatever you are able to do in your real life physically, you will be able to do it on a virtual platform. So that is metaverse. So the concept of metaverse, it extends beyond entertainment and it includes various aspects of life, including work, education, and social interaction. And metaverse is described as the next generation of the internet. Maybe in 1990, only few people had access to internet. When internet came, then there could be possibly 4, 5 places or internet centers. So similarly, metaverse is just beginning. So we don't know how much time it will take, but yes, definitely. Uh, Metaverse is also one of the immersive technology which is coming up, not just with the help of AR, VR, or MR, but metaverse will need much more advanced technologies like AI, ML, blockchain, and some of the key features. I will not go into the technical details, but yes, definitely I will yeah, touch upon that technologies for the metaverse, virtual reality, and augmented reality to give a VR immersive experience to the users. Along with that, the blockchain and NFT, that is the tokens which will be generated for the digital transaction. Blockchain is again technology, and the artificial intelligence. In the metaverse, you can have your own avatars. We can have our own avatars, and I can dress up my avatar the way I want, the kind of profession I am in. I can dress up my avatar there, and then I can, navigate and live the life there. Okay. So probably there can be, don't be surprised if it happens that in the virtual environment, your avatar, you're going to watch a movie, and the movie character can be your avatar itself, playing a lead role there. Okay, every user will experience that they are playing the lead role in the uh, virtual movie which is being displayed there. So some kind of much more immersive experience can be given using all these technologies in the metaverse. Of course, 5G internet connection is required, and the cloud computing is also required for metaverse. So coming to the applications, we already know that there is one Roblox, a platform. This one Roblox is a game which most of the students have played, or maybe they are still playing. Um, even after they are in their professional courses. But many children, I've seen them using this Roblox. So platforms like Roblox and Fortnite, they have hosted a virtual concert, and this virtual concert was attended by millions of users worldwide. So in the gaming and entertainment, already in the metaverse, such kind of applications are existing. And yeah, companies, they have hosted virtual meetings, the training sessions, and the product demonstrations in the metaverse in this immersive settings. Education and training, students can explore the ancient civilization. They can go and live the life and see how people live their life in 15th, 14th century or something like that. Or they can practice the surgeries in a controlled virtual environment. So there are a number of possibilities with the help of all the technologies. With respect to commerce and retail, brands like Nike and Gucci have launched virtual stores and collectible items in the metaverse. They have actually launched this. So you can have a look at it. They are already on the metaverse platform. And social interaction and community building. There are platforms like Decentraland and VR Chat, which will enable the users to host and attend the social events in the virtual settings. Like I told you, the party or anything, you can have a virtual space, and then you can invite people, and you can have networking and cultural exchanges can happen. Yeah. So that was the first section of the seminar, wherein we touched upon the immersive applications. Now coming to the design essentials for immersive applications, there are three important design aspects whenever we are designing such applications. We look at the environmental design. The environment is nothing but the surrounding where the users are, the interface design with which the users interact with, and the interaction design. So quickly we'll go through these design essentials. So environment design, again, the type of environment the users are in is classified into three different groups. One is the no disturbance or minimum disturbance. That is where the users have the privilege to set their own environment and where they want to visualize the application. They have a privilege. Like, for example, the classroom where it is very quiet, silent. That is no disturbance or with minimum disturbance. They can visualize the applications. Medium disturbance is where maybe in a workshop, I told you assembling the automobile parts, that can be one example of a medium disturbance because the user is having the access to the workshop area and also trying to interact with the digital objects to assemble the automobile parts. Next is highly disturbed environment, probably the open space, site location which is empty, and an architect wants to visualize how the building would look like. So that can be highly disturbed area or a surrounding or an environment because you have no access, you cannot control the disturbances around you. It is very random, a lot of vehicles are moving and all, right? So depending upon the environment where the application will be visualized, accordingly, we have to design the application. So this is from the design perspective where a designer has to think about the location and the context in which the immersive applications will be visualized. So again, when I'm placing the objects in the virtual VR or AR applications, I should also make sure that anything which is very close to the users, any object which is very close will be perceived as very intimate. This is the intimate zone. There is a private zone and social zone and a public zone. So depending upon the context and the kind of 3D objects which I am trying to display in the application, I should make sure whether I have to project it or display it in the foreground, midground, or the background of the user's view zone area. And normally when the users wear their devices, first they get access to see what is in front of them. And then the pattern, the usual pattern, what they have observed is that this is, of course, with some empirical study, they have observed the pattern from the front. They look at the top and then the right and the left and then the bottom of the bottom. So accordingly, we'll have to place all the 3D objects. So that was about the environment design. And then coming to the interaction design. Now, if I have to interact with my mobile, then I use the tap. I just tap, that is the tap interaction. If I want to use my laptop, it can be touch screen or it can be through keyboards or with the mouse, I'll be using these are the methods in which I can interact with my laptop or the desktop. But if I have to interact with the VR and AR applications, so there are different types of interactions again. So we have to decide whether we want to, which type of interactions we need to have. That is, gesture-based interaction is one. That is, you can use your hands or fingers, you pinch or you swipe or you grab. Okay, so something like this. Depending if you want to pick up some object, we use grab interaction. If I want to, increase the size of some model, do some kind of scaling operation, then I use the pinch operation. Or if I want to move to the next screen, then I can make use of swipe, something like that. Controlled based interactions, that is with the joystick. You can have controllers to move in the environment. And then the gaze based interaction. So gaze based interaction is nothing but if the user is pointing towards one object for certain seconds, then that application should open. So that is one of the this one interaction method. Next is voice based interaction. I can speak and then it happens, just like Siri or Alexa, how we interact. And next is the touch-based interaction. In touch-based interaction, in the virtual environment, we will not have a keyboard, but it will be a virtual keyboard. A virtual keyboard will be displayed, and I will type on that, and then from the virtual keyboard, the input will be taken and then displayed. So Microsoft HoloLens has a very good touch-based interaction, gesture-based interaction, controller-based interaction. So all these interactions are there in the HoloLens. HoloLens is a mixed reality device developed by Microsoft. So we have all these devices in our lab. So probably when you come over here, we can have some kind of demonstrations with the devices as well. After the interactions, next is the interface design. Again, there are different types of windows. You must have seen just one type of window in the laptop, right? Laptop or on the mobile phones. But when we work with AR, VR applications, we have different interface designs. Under interface design also, we have different types of windows, different types of menus, and different types of icons and all. So we can hide, we can unhide, and do a lot of things there. But just to tell you briefly about the different types of windows, there are floating windows. So floating windows, they follow the users, and they can be in a fixed location, or it can be a pinned window. That is, it can be on a wall or on a table or any of the real world object. It will be fixed at that place. And then it can be a pop-up windows, just like when you're performing some kind of operation, login successful or something will come, right? So application is closed successfully. So that is nothing but the pop-up window or the circular menu window. So in the semicircle layout, it will be arranged in a circular pattern around the users. So this is about the design aspects. So there are a lot of things which we need to design aspects we need to consider when we are designing AR, VR, MR applications. So a lot of work and research is still happening in this area. And yes, if not, complete 100%, at least 50% of the applications are now ready to be developed and used using these technologies. To conclude, immersive technology definitely is going to be the future of interaction. As I told you, the smartphones will be replaced by the smart glasses, and all the interactions will happen on the smart glasses. Don't be surprised if this happens in the next 10 years and or much before that. And using these immersive applications, the users will have higher engagement. Okay, they get engaged uh, by interacting with all these digital uh, objects, images, and this will increase the user experience. Yes, of course, the major drawback or the challenge is that it is expensive now. The devices are expensive, but over a period of time, I think it is going to be affordable for all of us to use it. If you can remember when internet or the computer was introduced, the computer was very expensive. Not everybody could afford it. But today, if you can see the laptops and computers, almost everybody is having a laptop or a computer in their home. So something similar to this is going to happen in the next 15, 20 years, even though with the development of hardware and the software cost reducing, all of us will be able to afford and use these immersive technologies. All right. Yes, with this, I conclude my talk and I hand it over to Mary Thomas, ma'am. Thank you. And if there are any questions, yes, I'll be more happy to take the questions.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Dr. Sumitra, for this insightful presentation on innovative technologies. So now it's clear that AR, VR are no longer a futuristic thing. They are shaping how we design, plan, and collaborate today. So you have shown us that it's not just about using new tools, but about embracing new ways of thinking too, innovative, adaptive, and tech savvy. So the future of architecture is not just immersive, it is collaborative. With that note, we are now open for question and answers. Please feel free to ask your question, or raise your hand, or drop your questions in the chat box.
I know this is very, difficult for them also to visualize and understand unless practically they use those devices and actually they get a hands-on on this. But yeah, I hope at least the theoretical part is now clear. And yes, we have all the any device at our AIT AR/VR lab. We have a virtual reality device, Oculus. We have augmented reality device. We have mixed reality device, Archana XR, which is an extended reality device. If anybody is interested to come and get a hands-on experience of what these applications are, and if they want to experience it, they are most welcome.
So we have one question from Mr. Vasu. So the question is, what will be the budget for doing for a residential building? So if you are online, I request Mr. Vasu to ask the question.
I think residential building, like depending upon the square feet, depending upon the the building size, the number of floors, there are a lot of parameters again to do the estimation. Of course, using these softwares, building the 3D objects will take a lot of time. As I told you, Unity is also expensive software and the devices are also expensive. So probably, depending upon your requirement, you'll have to approach software industry who are working on developing such kind of AR VR applications, and then you can negotiate it. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you. We have one more question. So the question is from Renuka Murli. So can we have something similar to indoor for outdoor as well? Will these technologies have scope in urban level?
Indoor as in sense, ma'am, I didn't get it. Indoor and outdoor is you're
Uh,
talking about?
I request Renuka Murli to elaborate this question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
When we talk about a larger scale, so I have seen students doing for stadium kind of a larger scale project as well. Yeah, in a larger aspect of a urban development, urban issues, can we try modeling the same? Is what my
For a stadium at a larger scale, if you want to design, is it possible? Is that the question, ma'am?
no, ma'am. For stadium level, we have done like that is the maximum larger level I have seen the VR or whatever the model that we augment. Uh, how about in a urban level, we try to incorporate these kind of technologies to develop few models or integrate some technology and see whether it is possible in a solution.
Mary, ma'am, I was not able to get it clearly. If you can let me know the question.
The chat box, Renuka, your voice was very feeble and it was breaking also. If you can elaborate this question in the chat box, it will be very helpful.
I think, if I may, what she's asking whether it can be these technologies applicable at the urban scape, larger cities, and she's in urban level, as in towns and streets and larger areas of town, not only the
She has
indoor or the
elaborated. How can these help in urban level?
Yeah. Yes.
That's what
Definitely
she's
we
asking.
can do it. Yes. Definitely we can do it. As I demonstrated Google Earth. Google Earth VR is for the complete globe, right? So definitely we can do it for town. We can do it for a town, but developing such kind of applications will take some time because the scope of the project is more. The time required to develop such kind of projects will also be more. Yes, we can definitely do it, not just for only a small building. It is not restricted, but complete town also can be made. If you can see the Roblox, if you have played a Roblox game, you can see that it has different floors, it has restaurants, it has shopping complex, and a lot of um, components that an urban city has, right? Yeah, it is possible.
Thank you. So I have a similar question, similar base. So being urban designer, so how it helps in urban design? That's my question. So how this VR can aid in community engagement or participatory design in urban projects? So in most of the urban projects, we involve with the community. So how AR VR can help us for that?
Right. So I told about the collaboration, right? So one of the slides here spoke about the collaboration. Yeah. So I think this is what you're talking about, that different professionals from different expertise, when they join together, and if they are discussing architecture related AR VR projects, how will it help them, right?
Yeah.
So it will give them see, they can actually go through very minute things, starting from the entry point to they can navigate inside the passage or the room 1, room 2, or conference room, where to place what. The designers can also get a feel of it, and the person who is using the office space also can get an understanding of how it would look like. And then depending upon that, they can give their feedbacks, and then they can sit for a meeting and they can finalize a design with everybody's approval. So once they go into that space, it will give them a clear understanding of how the building design would look like once it is constructed. So it will give everybody a better insights to finalize the
Yeah, same way
building
maybe in
plan.
same way in urban design also, maybe, if you're planning a garden or something which is coming in the future, you can show that, I guess.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
right.
Any more questions?
Understand,
Yeah,
for
Ma'am has a question.
yeah, sorry, it's me. So, if we want to create a project of at any level, whether it is urban or it's what kind of team do you envisage who will collaboratively create? Obviously, I see traditionally we as architects, planners, and designers have been working with certain ideas for visualization, certain for ourselves, then representing them for the person who we want to communicate to through drawings, models, and there have been very conventional ways of translating those. So we spend that kind of time. And then it is the person who is seeing, looking at it, it is his observation and his perceptions that he visualizes it. So all those things are broken now. We are bringing into a sense of direct, there's no representation that is real. So to be able to do that, I do see that it's not only architects who can do this. Even for futures, as it's going to be more and more complex. So you being a researcher and and such a deep and vast exploration in this field, where do you see that the team is going to look like? So we can ready ourselves for that.
All right. So one thing is, I would like to confirm one thing from your side. Do architect students study 3D modeling softwares?
Absolutely, they do.
Yes.
Visualization,
Yes.
make, yes, all kinds of walkthroughs they do, renders,
Okay.
photoreal renders. So from visualization to communication, and on year, we have been improving and adapting more and more, realistic tools to it. We are doing that.
Okay. So, ma'am, I think you should be introducing the Unity or Unreal softwares and tools also in the curriculum, so that it will be helpful for the architect students to design such kind of VR environments. And secondly, vibe coding. Vibe coding is becoming very common these days, but anybody can code. So once they know the designing, it is possible for even the architects also to design such kind of AR VR applications. So only thing is they should have an exposure to such kind of AR VR platforms like Unity and Unreal. And Blender, I think they will be using Blender, the 3D modeling.
Yes,
Yeah, so they should get some exposure to these platforms, and then definitely they will be able to create VR, AR applications. Given any design specifications, they should be able to do it.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so
So
any
I
other
hope,
question?
yes. So hope we received all the questions. If you have any more questions, you can let us know. Okay. So now I will move to the final session. So I want to thank now So on behalf of Council of Architecture and the D.Y. Patil School of Architecture, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Sumitra TV, Dr. M.D. Patil, Principal of RAIT, and RAIT Ramrao Adik Institute of Technology, D.Y. Patil University, for their prompt and gracious response to our webinar invitation. A special thanks to our co-convener, Professor Aparna Surve, Dean of DYPU SOA, and all our participants for being part of today's insightful session. Your presence and engagement truly enriched the experience. Before we close, I am happy to announce that our next webinar, scheduled for Wednesday, May 7th at 4:30 p.m. Our speaker is architect Sonali Dhokte, who will be sharing insights on disruptive technologies and collaborative processes as catalyst for a change. It will be a panel discussion. So we look forward to your participation once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sumitra.
Thank you, Sumitra ma'am.
Thank you, everybody.
They